All right, guys, so we're going to talk about the buckets we have for each machine and different attachments we have as well. So for the Cat 304, first thing we have is the amazing Ripper Tooth.
Yep, love this thing. It's got about 22 if it had a brand new tooth on it. And that tooth was brand new the other day.
That black top really wore it down. Yeah. And the weight on this is 87 pounds. So we honestly just move this around by hand. It's usually a little easier getting it on and off.
It was roughly about $800 for that.
800?
Yeah.
Now this is a Cat grading bucket, manufactured from Caterpillar itself.
It's like 48.5 inches
48.5 inches wide. I'm gonna give you guys a spec sheet on the back of the bucket. You can see that, and it says it holds 0.3 cubic yards of dirt and it weighs 381 pounds. These Cat buckets also have a replaceable cutting edge, so that's pretty cool.
And this is more of a digging grading bucket.
Where on my machine it's more of a trench cleaning bucket.
Now this here is considered a ditch cleaning bucket, which we had this custom made by Sager Machine. And this one's 45.5 inches wide. It's similar to the one we have on the Bobcat, which is a Cat bucket also, but it's a lot more capacity.
Now this bucket here, we've had a lot of work done to it. It's been rebuilt, I think once since I've been with you, at least. We got some custom full tilt patches on there, lots of hard facing. The bottom of the bucket also has wear plates on it as well. Sager Machine always hooks us up, puts our logo on a lot of our work.
And this edge on the back of the bucket is just amazing for cleanup work. When you have material too close to you, you can actually roll your bucket in and clean that material away without having to move the machine.
Now the Cat bucket, grading bucket, does not have the rear cutting edge, but they do offer it.
This is an old bucket that I bought. Used to have teeth on it, but I took the shanks off and just welded a piece of hard face across there. This comes in great when you're digging footings and you want to eliminate the guy having to get in the trench and clean the bottom of your trench out. You can dig a clean ditch with the bottom, with this bucket right here. This here is a 16-inch bucket, and you'll notice we have plates on the 16 and the 12, and all we did was weld a piece of cutting edge to each end tooth, and all we have to do is knock these two pins out and then put teeth back on those shanks, and we have a tooth bucket again. But we get into so much utility digging that this is the only way that you can not dig up utilities and do a clean job. So you can see on the 12-inch bucket, we wore that thing around. It used to be square. We use it so much that we actually wore it round.
Now, just so everybody knows, if anybody's going to attempt to weld these plates on for ditch cleaning, make sure that when you weld them, you do it on the bucket, because otherwise you'll never get it back on.
Right. Yeah. Make sure you weld that plate while the teeth are on the bucket, then take it off. Otherwise, I don't care how well you measure, you're not going to get it on.
Now this 1-foot bucket's also been around for a while.
2008.
2008. It's got a bunch of hard facing already done to it. It's a little caved in, as you can see. That's just from grabbing it with the thumb so much. Just kind of happens over time. Now we're going to go on to the 304 attachments. First things first is the
H55.
The H55D Caterpillar hammer.
Yep.
This thing does pretty amazing. Haven't had many problems except for the hoses, really.
Yeah, 10 years we've had this machine. We've replaced the hoses one time, and that's only because we nicked it on a piece of rebar.
And just so you guys know, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this, that you can change that pin grabber out.
You change the whole head plate out. So I could put a new head plate on this, which I would get the head plate with the pins for the 306, and I could put this hammer on my 306. Same with the hoe pack. If you take and get a new head plate, you can, with larger pin diameter, I could put this hoe pack on the 306.
Now to go over the hoe pack a little bit, what model is this?
The CD16. And it's got a 12-inch shoe on it. 12 inches wide. Everything's magnetic. 31 inches long.
And the weight on that's 420 pounds. The hammer, I'm not sure. I'd say
it's like 600
600, you're saying?
pounds.
But now, this hoe pack, when you're using it, works amazing. But make sure you see those little rubbers. That's where all your wear is gonna happen. Make sure when you're pushing down, you don't lift up the machine on that and then start going. You'll beat the heck out of the shaker head.
Yeah, 304 handles both these attachments very well. We used to run them on our 303.5 as well. It was a little heavy on those, but the 304 handles it really well.
Remember, Jeremy didn't like it on his.
No, too heavy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, also we have, completely missed the bucket on the machine. Yeah. We have the 2-foot digging bucket.
And the thumb, 12-inch thumb.
And the 12-inch thumb. Now, onto the 306 buckets. We have the 16-inch, which we didn't even dig with this thing yet, I don't think, did we?
Moved it around a bunch, but we haven't
brand new dentist work there. The weight on that one's 174, which is surprising. We have a Geef bucket as well from my Bobcat, weighs the same exact thing, and it's a lot smaller. Now, here's the cat grading bucket.
It's 48.5 as well.
And that's 48.5 as well, but it definitely does hold a little more volume.
Yeah.
Let's see what the plate's going. Actually, not that much more, Ed. 0.34 cubic yards.
Yeah, the other one was 0.31.
Yep, and 410 pounds. Now this bucket, you can do digging with. You're not gonna damage it. It's not technically a grading bucket.
This ripper tooth here is 29.5 inches of depth. And we've only used this once or twice. These things, I'll tell you, I used to have a 2004 320 CL cat, and we had the same type of just a single tooth for that machine. And when we had that tooth, we never rented a hammer for our machine since that point. These things are just, they're invaluable. I'll tell you, if you have a mini excavator, it's definitely worth the investment to get one of these things. You can do so much. I mean, unless you're in solid rock, you can really do a lot with these things. And with the cat couplers, you can put them on backwards, so they really come in handy. It's a game changer.
So the reason why we started getting rippers is we used to carry the hammer everywhere we went, but the hammer's so much dead weight we're carrying around, and with all these laws with DOT getting all stricter and everything, we just trying to save weight as much as we can wherever we can. Now, we also have a 24-inch digging bucket with teeth on there. We don't have plates made up for these buckets. We're gonna get there now that we got the welder. We've still been practicing on that. All right guys, so now we're gonna hook up this hoe pack. Show you guys exactly the process of how to hook these up. I don't know how other brands and machines are, but the cat, there is a little bit of a trick to it. You gotta flip some valves up the top there. Guys, the process to hook this hoe pack, first thing you wanna do,
turn the key off, then turn the key back on, and cycle your thumb. That will relieve the pressure in your hydraulic lines. Turn the key back off again, and then you gotta get your tool and turn your valves. Otherwise, when you plug this hoe pack in, your thumb will relieve. Wrong wrench, guys, so I got the right one. So I lost the one that came with it. You turn these valves right here to the off position, which turns the fluid off to your thumb.
And you'll know how far to turn it because it bottoms out on that little pop rivet there.
Now this is always fun because you always knock a bunch of skin off your knuckles.
Same thing, little grommet there.
Take your covers off.
That's the female side.
Now, taking these things apart, there's always a ball and a little notch there. That's the only way they'll come apart. Make sure they're clean as you can. You don't want that contaminating your hydraulic system. Then you should be able to just push this in and hook it up.
Just like that.
These are brand new because last time we hammered, if you saw our hammering concrete video, they started leaking really bad. So we had to get new ones again for the third or fourth time, which now we're told we have the best ones you can buy.
I think
Well,
they were
we'll
like
see.
they're like 140 bucks a
Yeah,
piece.
140 bucks. Yeah, it's not easy to push these on. Trust me, it takes a little bit of work.
So now this side, you're gonna put the female on the hoe pack side, and then on the machine side, that's the male on that side.
Now, with running the hoe pack, because it's continuous flow, I don't have to change the valve under the hood where I would on the hammer. But on my computer monitor in here, I do have to change the attachment.
Let me show them where that valve is though. Now, if you guys ever wonder where that valve is, if you guys ever rent one of these, right there, that's that valve he's talking about. You're gonna turn it and that'll change the flow of the hydraulics. Lock it up so you don't forget. Thanks.
Now on this compass monitor, there is a selection for the work tool. So you go to your work tool, hit OK, and then work tool select all the way at the bottom, of course, and then it'll give you all your different options of attachments. So we have a compactor plate on, hit OK, and it tells you that the compactor plate's on, and there's an icon in the bottom showing that compactor plate's on. So now we're ready to go.
Now I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that screen or not. The sun's kind of bright. I'm not gonna know till later, so hopefully we can. See how it's sitting? He's not putting a bunch of down pressure on it.
Now you do not want to run this compactor all the way out like that. With so much stress on the boom of your machine, you're always better off to keep it at about a 90 degree from the machine.
Hey!
So when you can, try and run your compactor like that, so you're not putting a bunch of undue stress on that boom.
Hold on. So right there, guys, that's the way you want the machine to be sitting, at a 90 degree angle. Stretch it all the way out, Ed. We don't want to do it like that. Now, you do not want to be all the way out like that. That will beat the living daylights out of your machine, so don't do that. Now, Ed, I want you to push down and show what you don't want to do with the grommets. See how those things are flexing, guys? You do not want to do that. That's not good. You don't want to be running that thing like that. That's not how we run a hammer. Not now, not ever.